Welcome everyone to the Minnesota Twins franchise. My name is MrHurriicane. We continue on with the Twins after their first month has come to an end. It was a rough opening month, going 10-15 for Minnesota. We've gotten to know this team a little bit now. We aren't a very good pitching team, but our hitting can be very good, especially when our young players are hitting well, like Byron Buxton and Miguel Sano have been early this season. Sano has one of the top averages in the American League. So we continue with Minnesota here in early May against the Oakland A's, who took the first two games of this series at Target Field. One thing we haven't done a good job of this year is win at home. We're only 4-11, so it would be nice to start getting some victories for the home fans that continue to fill up the stadium. So a chance for Brandon Kintzler here to get the save. One out away against Chris Davis. And he gets a hold of one, sending it to deep center and giving the A's the lead as Kintzler blows another save. We saw this in a recent episode against the Detroit Tigers when James McCann took Kintzler yard, his second blown save of the year. And Chris Davis gives the A's a one-run lead and a chance to sweep the Twins after a 452-foot blast. So that brings in Santiago Casilla with 8 saves on the season, and he faces Miguel Sano with one down. Sano with an even count, swings at a low fastball and strikes out, taking us to our final out. And the Twins call on Byung-Ho Park, who was just called up from AAA Rochester. The first at-bat of the year for him after a good start of the year at AAA. A 1-1 to Park, and a pitch left up. Park to deep left, and that is gone! Byung-Ho Park, welcome back to Minnesota. He mashed at AAA in the first month, hitting .326 after a rookie year in the majors hitting less than .200. That is one heck of a way to make a return as Park blows the save for Casilla. We've done this a few times already in this young season. And here is the ball as it travels off the bat, just getting over the fence. Just enough. And finally some excitement here for the fans at Target Field. But still, the fans want to see some wins. So can we walk it off? Jason Castro already walked us off once this year. A drive to center and deep. But not deep enough. Davis gloves it, and we go to extra innings, calling on Ryan Presley from the bullpen. A full count here to Stephen Vogt, the first batter he sees, and that slider gets him for strike 3. Trying to bring us to the bottom of the inning with a runner on first, ex-Twin Trevor Plouffe grounds to his replacement Miguel Sano, and we go bottom 10. Minnesota looking to end it. Eddie Rosario, the batter, yanking one, well foul, but good power on the swing. Then with a 1-1, Rosario chops it to second, and that won't get it done. That takes us to the top of our order now. Byron Buxton, 16-game hitting streak, and hitting over 300 now. Quite a turnaround for him. And he walks on the knuckle curve. So at least we have our speed out there at first base. Just something in the gap now. But Polanco pops up a high fastball, and that's going to send us to the 11th inning. Presley stays in the game, runner at first, and there's a base hit to left. A's looking like they're going to do some damage, and they have good speed at second base. So we call on the rookie instead, Justin Haley, who was letting righties hit .379 against him. And Davis looking for another big fly. He hits it to deep right. Tracked down by Kepler, who came in the game even with a strained hamstring. So Rajay Davis 90 feet away, and Haley gets the strikeout on that circle change. Game remains tied, bottom 11 now, and Ryan Dole enters the game. A 6 ERA and 9 appearances, perhaps this was our chance. Dozier begins, line drive to left center, but Davis is there to cut it off and keep that to a single. Next up, Miguel Sano, yanking this into left field, 2-on for Minnesota, but still not much speed to come off our bench, sadly. Next up, you have Jason Castro, line drive to second. And that ends the inning. We go 12 in Minnesota. And here with a man at first base, a circle change again from Justin Haley. Not bad. Perhaps that's his strikeout pitch for us. Trevor Plouffe then with 2 on and 2 down, grounding it to Sano. And we keep another 0 on the board. Could we close this out in 12? Here's Eddie Rosario driving one back up the middle. Both teams were getting base runners. It was just not many were getting into scoring position. Then there's Byron Buxton on a pitch outside. He pulls it into left, giving us 2 on. 1 down for Polanco, who taps it on to second. 4-6-3, and we go to 13 innings. It just would not end. Justin Haley stays in the game. How about this bunt? Up for Mauer, who makes the catch. Again, the A's had a base runner here, and Chris Davis, 2 homers already. 2 down for the A's. Good slider from the rookie. 2 strikes to Davis. And he goes around for strike 3. Chris Davis doesn't like it, and Haley gets another strikeout. But Davis has a real argument here. Sure looks like he did not go around, but Haley gets the K regardless. So bottom 13, Miguel Sano, deep to center. And Rajai Davis makes another routine play. 14 innings. We had to use our entire bullpen in this game. Adalberto Mejia was the final reliever in the pen. In for the 14th inning. We saw Mejia struggle in his last 2 starts, and now he's in the bullpen. And how about this? A couple quick outs. He gets a tapper right back to him for the second out. Can he go 1-2-3? That was a big issue in his starts. Well, 2-seamer swung at and missed. Then the 1-2. And a drive to right. Kepler ranging toward the chalk and makes the catch. So we go bottom 14. Jason Castro, the batter, a 3-0 here from Madsen as he finds the zone to make it a 3-1 count. And then another pitch left up and back up the middle. Good drive there by Castro. There were very few 1-2-3 innings here in the extras. However, a strike him out, throw him out, ends the 14th inning. We're still going in this. And we're right ahead of a series against the Red Sox, and our bullpen is gassed. Mejia in the game. We need him to deliver. Big strikeout here on Matt Joyce with that low changeup. Then a 1-1 to Trevor Plouffe. Fastball gets him looking. And then the 1-2. Plouffe into right field, and that is going to get down. Trevor Plouffe against his former team, coming through with a big extra inning double. That brought up Jed Lowry with 2 strikes. Base hit center field. And Plouffe, after hesitating, heads to third and stays there. Runners at the corners. Mejia trying to get out of trouble, but then the command issues start to arise. 3-1. And a walk to load the bases. And who'd that bring up? Marcus Semien in his 8th at-bat on the day. The 1-0 to Semien, drilled to right. Kepler's got it, but he's got to throw home to throw out Plouffe. The throw is offline. Trevor Plouffe gives the A's a 15th inning lead. But there were still only 2 down and 2 on base. Here's Chris Davis, who had already crushed 2 home runs. A 2-2 count, and a curveball gets him frozen. So a 1-run advantage as the A's turn things over to Sean Doolittle. 10+ innings, no runs allowed this year, but righties hitting .400 against him. So down to our last chance to avoid a sweep. Byron Buxton ripping one down the line, fair. Buxton rounding first, digging for second, in there safely. Here are the Twins again, making things interesting. Byron Buxton gets this over the third base bag. We just needed a base hit to tie things. And here's Doolittle missing inside to Polanco, the count even, and missing well away again. Full count to Jorge Polanco, and the curveball well outside walks him to first, putting 2 aboard for Minnesota, but making a double play a possibility. So Brian Dozier with 2 on and 1 down. Doolittle's first pitch, left up and driven to right center, down for extra bases. Buxton to tie, and Polanco rounds third. The throw coming in, not in time, and the Minnesota Twins walk off again. How about that? An RBI double by Brian Dozier to walk us off. We saw that .400 average from righties against Doolittle, and the 2 righties we had in this inning both had big extra base hits. Another fantastic finish in 15 innings. We go the distance in this one and thankfully come away with the win. Polanco here sliding in ahead of the tag. It took every member of our bullpen and our entire bench to play 15 innings and win this game. 3 blown saves, Byung-ho Park's big pinch hit homer. What a game for Minnesota. This one was exciting. However, I knew what was up ahead, which was a series against the Boston Red Sox. And we have another critical situation here. Byron Buxton trying to keep his hitting streak alive. We're in the 9th, down 2. Does Minnesota have more heroics in store? Full count here to Buxton. And a fly ball hit to right center. And that is caught. Buxton does not continue his hitting streak. And Boston takes the first game of this series by a score of 8-6. So this was a series I wanted to focus on because I wanted to see us against good competition that we haven't seen yet. But now I was a bit worried given that our bullpen was so gassed from that extra inning affair. But I still wanted to see what we could do when tasked with facing one of the game's best. Chris Sale, the ace of the Boston Red Sox, although not a player Minnesota is unfamiliar with, he was previously with Chicago, of course. And this was a chance for us to see Taylor Rogers make a start after Adalberto Mejia was taken out of the starting rotation. Well, not a good beginning for us. These bats from Boston are very good. Dustin Pedroia solo jack to left field. I knew this wouldn't be easy for the young pitcher. Next up, you have Mookie Betts, who gets an awkward swing over Rogers and beats out the throw from Sano to continue his hitting streak, which was now 14 games. Then a soft hit ground ball to short, and Eduardo Escobar can't field it cleanly. Escobar playing for Polanco as he got the off day in this one. Next up, a wild pitch, and that's going to allow both runners to advance. So many things are going wrong in this first inning, but thankfully a strike 3 looking here to Jackie Bradley Jr. gave us 2 down. Rogers trying to get out of this jam, and a changeup gets strike 3 swinging. So then it was time for us to face Chris Sale, 3-1 on the season, making his 7th start and a 2.03 ERA. So Escobar up after his first inning error, he gets ahead in the count, and with it full, a low pitch lets him walk on to first base, so we get ourselves an early base runner. Then up you have Brian Dozier, whose bat has really come around the last week or so. He didn't start super strong, but recently one of our best hitters. But Sale is so tough to hit against. 1-2 to Dozier, and a line drive to right that keeps on going and exits the yard. A 2-run jack for Brian Dozier, continuing to swing a very hot bat. And Minnesota takes the first inning lead. After a 42 home run season by Dozier, this was his 5th on the season, so not on the same pace. But I was shocked this one just kept going and left. Great job here by Dozier going the other way with it. So something for the fans to cheer about. And then Miguel Sano is up with a .359 average. And the very next pitch, drilled, and Sano takes Sale yard. Back-to-back jacks for Minnesota in the first inning. How about that for a start? We take Sale yard twice in the first inning. Dozier and Sano both connect. 7 on the year now for Miguel Sano. This one goes 415 feet. And let's watch this again. Just a pitch left up that Sano can sit back on and drive it a long way. That's what he does best. So a 3-1 lead for Minnesota in the first inning, and the first start now for Byung-ho Park, getting his chance to be our everyday DH now. And a high drive off of Sale to deep center, and Park takes him out as well. Back to back home runs off Chris Sale. Are you kidding me? I was looking forward to this game to see us encounter this great challenge. Well, we were up for it. 4-1 Minnesota in the first inning with an unbelievable start. Could have never imagined we'd open up this way. One of the most exciting moments of this series thus far. Could we do it 4 times in a row? No, that'd be asking too much as Grossman strikes out. So there you go, Taylor Rogers, a 3-run lead. But I knew it was not safe against these Boston bats. After a single by Benintendi, he takes off for second, and Castro has not been great at throwing out base stealers so far this year. So in scoring position, base hit center field, rolling slowly, and slow enough to allow Benintendi to come around to score. 4-2 Minnesota. Rogers then with another batter taking off. Castro this time throws out Brock Holt. After another hit for Boston, back to the top with Dustin Pedroia, who drills another base hit to left. The thing about this Boston lineup was that they have so many great right-handed bats, and they were all just getting phenomenal contact off of Rogers. Then Mookie Betts swings and misses at the changeup to thankfully end the inning. So with the way Boston was hitting, I knew that we probably needed more than those 4 runs. Yeah, the first inning was great, but we had to keep the bats going. Here's a base hit the other way by Max Kepler. And then you have Castro going to left center as well. And it gets past the left fielder, Benintendi, and that allows Kepler to come all the way around to score. And they rule this an RBI double. 5-2 Twins. After we advance Castro, ground ball up the middle by Escobar is enough to bring him home and give us our 6th run off of Chris Sale. So with this lead, could Rogers settle in? Not so easily. Another base hit by Boston. Leadoff man gets aboard. After the hit by Hanley Ramirez, then you have Chris Young going down the line for an extra base hit. Righties absolutely crushing Taylor Rogers in this game. We were doing so well against Sale, but we're in danger of giving it all back. However, big strikeout here on Benintendi. Still 1 out to go, however, with 2 in scoring position. And Christian Vasquez chops it for Castro, who fields it cleanly and makes the throw. And we put a 0 on the board finally, but it wasn't easy. Already 8 hits for Boston. So with our offense heading back to the field, we have Byung-Ho Park, 2 for 2 with 2 home runs in his 3rd trip. Sale inside there with the changeup. Then with the count even, pulled to 3rd. And Park finally retired. But good to see him back in the majors hitting the ball well early on. It looked like Sale was bouncing back until he hit Robbie Grossman up high on an 0-2 pitch. Sale's command wasn't right early in this game, as one gets away from the catcher, and that allows Grossman to work into scoring position. So Danny Santana, the 1-0, crushed to right center, and getting down for extra bases. We're just going the other way with everybody in this game. Another run comes home for Minnesota, and Chris Sale was taken out of the game after only completing 2 2/3 innings with 7 runs allowed and 3 strikeouts. So already forcing Boston into their bullpen. At the same time, Boston was close to doing the same. Even the fouls were well hit. But a swing and miss here by Bogarts in the dirt will help the cause, as Rogers does get another strikeout. That is one thing he did fairly well in this outing. And then with 2 down, fly ball hit to center and tracked down by Buxton. Back-to-back zeros on the board for Rogers. Let's jump into the 5th inning now, looking for another scoreless. Mookie Betts rips it into left. And that was it for Taylor Rogers. Just 4 innings of work. And we had to go to an already tired bullpen, beginning with Ryan Presley. We needed someone to slow down this offense, and there is a pop-up from Hanley Ramirez that'll help, certainly, gloved there by Park playing first in this game, actually. And with Betts moving to 3rd, a ball hit deep to right by Jackie Bradley Jr. allows Betts to tag and get the 3rd run across for Boston. Trying to keep it to only 3. Ground ball hit to Sano. Off balance, making the throw across the diamond. Good scoop there by Park and the Twins in the inning. 7-3 Minnesota. And back on the mound with Presley here as he gets a pop-up to short. And gets another out. Trying to get a 0 on the board. Here's a ground ball hit to Dozier. And now he'll show off the defense. We managed to slow down this offense enough. 3 runs in 6 innings. Still up 7-3 in the 6th. And here's Max Kepler. Line drive to right center. And this one goes out. What a swing by Kepler. This one goes a long way here on a line. 417 feet. Another one that kind of caught me off guard, just seeing it being a line drive and just not come down. This offense has plenty of power, and we sure see it in this game. Score 8-3 Minnesota, back to pitching with Presley, his third inning of work. And it was big for us to get an outing like this from him after Rogers only lasted 4 and our bullpen was very tired. And the offense for us luckily was still not done. Brian Dozier base hit left field. Miguel Sano drive on to right center, and that'll get down for another extra base hit. Dozier to third, and he'll stop right there. 2 in scoring position for Minnesota, bringing up Byung-Ho Park. Line drive to center, Dozier in position to tag and tack on another run for the Twins. 9-3. Presley stayed in the game for a 4th inning of work, and he completed just as much of this game as Taylor Rogers did, only allowing 1 run. So maybe you thought our offense was done. It wasn't. Max Kepler, lefty versus lefty, sends another one out to give the Twins their 10th run on the day, and our 5th homer against the Red Sox. The first one traveled 417, this one 434. Kepler has a lot of power. But still, this offense could not be silenced. There's Robbie Grossman, base hit to left. Then you have Eduardo Escobar going to left as well. A lot of pitches here just left over the middle for us. Brian Dozier, 3rd straight single into left field. It wasn't just the big home runs in this game, but the base is loaded for Miguel Sano, and he drives one back through the middle. A 2-run single for Minnesota. Okay, now the offense is done. 12 runs for the Twins. A phenomenal all-around effort. And then a final inning here for Matt Belisle as the Minnesota Twins take this game from the Boston Red Sox 12-3. And it all began with us crushing Chris Sale. 3 straight home runs in the first inning, and we never looked back. The start for Taylor Rogers was still quite shaky. He gave up a lot of hits, but Presley came in, settled things down, and he gets the victory in this. I believe it's like a starter has to go 5 innings to get credit for a win. But Presley got 4 innings in relief, did a phenomenal job for us, and that takes us to a 12-18 record. Still not great. And we don't cover a lot of ground here because, okay, we had a long extra inning game and a lot of offense in this one, so every episode is a bit different, so don't worry about the pace right now. But what should be worried about are those Chicago White Sox. They're 4-26. Come on. I've never seen a record that bad after 30 games in baseball. 4-26. I checked their numbers. They have the worst team ERA and are the 3rd worst hitting team in the majors. I believe they are one of the lowest scoring teams, surprise, and also allow the most runs and have the most errors. Their team is doing nothing right. But I sure like playing against them. So as you check out our numbers here, our batters are performing very well right now, but our pitchers, not so much. We have, I believe, the 2nd worst team ERA right now, only better than the White Sox. But we are getting some good play out of our bullpen from the likes of Michael Tonkin and Ryan Presley. And Matt Belisle as well. They're getting some good innings so far for us. So what do you guys think of this one? A very fun and exciting episode here in the Minnesota Twins franchise. And I'll be back with more of this soon. Thank you all for watching. Next time it looks like we have some more division games and our first interleague series against the Colorado Rockies if we want to take some time with that one. So, thank you all again. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for much more Minnesota Twins franchise, and leave your feedback below. What do you guys think of this one? This episode was very fun to put together. I was excited about this one. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.